believe change is inevitable. So it's never too late to make a difference as an individual. Cause we gotta do that to become better as a whole. All for one, and one for all.
Good afternoon, Wolfpack. How the fuck are we doing today? I'm gonna get right into this. So, topic of the day is another day, another lesson learned. Parentheses, mistake. Trying to call my mistakes lessons learned instead of mistakes. So, we're on now day number 3 of lessons learned with this fucking deck. And again, if you haven't listened to the other lives or the podcasts, then you'll understand that I've been learning some shit. Never built a deck before. Been learning some shit. Well, yesterday I had to spend all day, instead of putting the actual floor on the deck, I had to spend all day tearing things apart, refixing, re-putting shit back in there. Well, and then, I got, at the very end of the day, when I was done, after I did the live from yesterday, I started, I just put the first board up there. Well, noticed it wasn't square. Noticed it wasn't right. And somehow my frame got bowed out. Pretty much my dad says, it's pretty much because the other boards were bowed out. And of course, lumber are not true to cut anymore. So when you order a 16-foot board, you may get a fucking 16-foot 1.5-inch board, or a fucking 15-foot friggin', 11-inch board, or some shit like that. It's not true to cut anymore. Which I think is complete bullshit that they fucking do that. If I buy a fucking 16-foot board, then it should be 16-foot. But also because when I bought this wood a couple weeks ago, we laid it on the ground, and I didn't know at the time, because we were in a rush that day, that we laid it on the ground. The ground actually dipped right there in the fucking middle where I laid these boards. So naturally, the weight of it all, the weather, fucking, raining and everything, made all the fucking boards bow. We didn't know that until we started putting it all together. Well, fast forward to yesterday again. Like I said, I spent 6-7 hours tearing it fucking all back apart, the braces and everything, and then re-fucking doing everything. Because I didn't have the boards on the hangers like I was supposed to correctly. Got all that done. Put the friggin' quarter deck back on there. Well, then turn around after we got the deck on there, the first piece, because I knew I didn't have time, and I was done yesterday. I was tired. Knew I didn't have time to fix the. Is that for me, baby? Is that for me? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This good woman making me a sandwich. She made me a sandwich and brought me out. Didn't even ask her. She's a good woman. Good woman, babe. I love you. My little sandwich maker. Anyways, so put the it was a joke. Nobody get fucking offended. She was smiling the whole damn time. But anyways, fucking put the flooring, the quarter board on the fucking deck, and realize that it's off. It's squared at the end. I was trying to leave a 1/2 inch overhang on both ends, and a 1/2 inch in the middle. Well, the frame's bowed out. So, called my dad last night, and I'm like, look, this is what's going on. I can't figure it out. Like, what the hell did I do wrong? And he couldn't really tell, by the way I was trying to explain it or whatever. So he says, all right, he's like, I'll swing by tomorrow before I go into work, and I'll let you know. We'll figure it out. And he gets here and he's like, I ought to kick your fucking ass. I'm like, why? He said, because you didn't do this and you didn't do this and, this cut was off and fucking blah, blah. And I'm like, well, fuck me. Fuck me. He's like, these things are bored. He was like, basically, you got to tear it all apart again and fucking redo it all over again. So, I learned another lesson. Now, the reason, I told you all that wasn't, to get on here and vent, wasn't the bitch. The reason I told you all that, because yesterday I had that mindset, and I still have that mindset. So don't get it twisted, I had that mindset yesterday, like I was talking about my son the other day. It was a mistake. I've never built a fucking deck before. Never. Don't know what I'm doing, don't know how I'm doing. My dad showed me, and I took it from there. There's a couple things that he told me I needed to do that I didn't listen correctly, and I just forgot. And on the excitement of getting this done and working on it and now I'm tired of fucking working on it. It should have been done. Hold on. Stop now. I see what you're doing. Stop. Sorry, I had to get on to the younger kids. They're over here trying to break stuff. And so, I've got that same mindset. I'm making mistakes. Am I aggravated today? Yeah, I am. Just like I was yesterday. I'm not pissed off. I'm not letting it ruin my day. It's, it's a mistake learned. Freaking hopefully one day that, when my son wants to build a deck or one of my daughters want to build a deck or something, hey, my father taught me, so guess what? I can use this. So, but the main thing I really want to freaking talk about is my whole mindset of that I'm not letting myself beat myself up about it. And I almost started today. I legit almost started today. After my dad left and and I'm sitting there thinking, and the thought started to formulate in my head, but I didn't even let it finish. The thought literally started in my head, and I knew where my head was fucking going with it, is that I'm fucking worthless. I can't fucking do nothing right. And before I could get out in my head and start, thinking it, before I could get out, and I knew what was going to come next, my brain immediately, I started arguing with myself, and I in my brain, I was like, don't you dare fucking say that. Don't you dare say that. This is a learning process. This is a learning lesson. You're not fucking worthless. You're not fucking, a piece of shit. You're not fucking, you aren't fucking useless. Same thing, my son was telling me the other day. You're not none of those things. Don't you dare let your fucking self call you that. So, I sat there for probably about 5 or 10 minutes, and my brain wanted to sit there and tell me, freaking a couple seconds would go by, and it'd just be like, I'd start thinking about the situation, a couple minutes would go by, and it'd just be like, man, I can't believe I fucked up again. Like, I can't do nothing right. And before my brain would, finish those thoughts, I started, there it is again, another fucking, my other thought would, pop up, and it'd be like, don't fucking finish that. No, this is a learning mistake. Fucking stop this shit. You know where this shit leads to. Fucking sitting here dwelling on it, beating yourself up about this, it's not going to fix anything. It's not going to fucking make anything better. So just fucking get out there, do what the fuck you need to do, get it done correctly, and work on it, and then you'll be fucking done. And I know what it is. Like, part of me is like, okay, this project isn't new anymore. I want to be done with it so I can get on and move on to other things. Plus, I want to enjoy the damn deck. Like I've said, many times the last couple of days, I've always wanted a friggin' deck. But I got other shit to do. I've kind of put, quite a few farm things on hold right now that I, need to be getting done before the winter comes. And, there's other things, I'm putting, research and other things that I'm wanting to do with the group on hold, you know, to get this deck done. And really, you know, this deck should have took me, you know, a couple days. But it's taken me longer than when I, thought it was going to, you know. If I had done it all correctly and known what the fuck I was doing, really, then, you know, I wouldn't have made these mistakes. And some of it couldn't help. Like, you know, even my own dad didn't know, you know, friggin' the boards were bowed that bad. But he explained to me, you know, how to fix everything, how to redo everything. You know, he's like, this is what you need to do, you know, and all this different stuff. So, you know, I got the concept, and I know what I need to fix. You know, hopefully, you know, he did tell me, you know, friggin', he's going to work, and then he's gonna, you know, he's a truck driver, so he's gonna be gone for a couple days. Should be back on Friday or something. He'll come out here either Friday or Saturday, and, you know, he don't want people putting the flooring in until until he looks at it. That way he can make sure everything's done correctly and done right. And then, you know, I can put the floor in and everything like that. And he said, unless you think, you know, friggin' it's done finally and it's done right and everything looks good, since I know, you know, the problems that need to be fixed, he was like, unless you think that, you know, when it's done right, then, you know, you can get on there and, then you can get in there and move on with the process. He said, ultimately, it's your deck. Whether it's done right or wrong, it's all up to you. He said, so, you know, if you want to be done and you just want to put the floor in, then go ahead. He said, but you're going to have to fix it here in about 2 or 3 years, you know, friggin', you know, if that long. So, it's all still a learning process. And I was amazed with myself. After about 10 minutes of fighting with myself, I was amazed with myself that I didn't sit there and let myself beat myself up. And then I started arguing with myself, all in my own head, not out loud, but all in my own head. And my brain wouldn't even let me finish the thought I was having. Again, you know, the thought I was having was, you know, I was about to say, I am worthless and I can't do nothing right. Same thoughts my son was having the other day. And it was as soon as my brain fucking got out said the words in my head, I immediately started arguing with myself. Don't you dare fucking finish that sentence. Don't you dare fucking sit there and think this about yourself. Don't you fucking dare allow yourself to act like this right now, because you know you're not. You know you're not the fucking, you know you're not worthless. You know you're fucking, you know, you can do things right. This is just a learning process. You've never done this before. Don't fucking get aggravated. Don't fucking sit here and beat yourself up about it. And I had this whole conversation in my head. And I keep replaying me and my son's conversation over, you know, in my head that we had the other day. Not in a negative way. It's just, I'm glad I had that conversation with him. Because now that I know he's feeling like this, and I know this is, you know, how he's being, and the way I'm being, and I've had to work on myself. Like, this did not come over fucking night. This mentality did not happen overnight. So I had to work on this for years, and I'm still working on this. You know, friggin', I don't remember a time yet that I've really been able to argue with myself that much to where I stopped the fucking thought before it was even fully a thought. You know, I stopped the words in my head before I could even get the full sentence out. So, it just amazed me that I was able to do that. I know I got the camera, it's just the way I'm sitting. It amazed me that I've come so far in my life, because I'm telling you, the once was, you know, the one time I may have chalked that up, you know, I'd have been aggravated, pissed off, you know, kind of beat myself up. But, you know, then the second time that I did it, I definitely would have fucking let that shit ruin my day. I would have definitely let that fucking, you know, get in my head, and I'd have been pissed off. Now I'm not doing that. So I have come so far in my fucking journey of self-healing and this whole mental health awareness journey and all this different stuff, all this work I've done for the past 4 or 5 years has just tremendously, it's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah. Oh, it's 22. It's been almost fucking... Oh, well, no. I probably didn't start until... I think it was about 2017, 2018. Around that time is when I actually fully started trying to get my fucking shit together. So... Yeah, so about 4 or 5 years, somewhere around there, 5 years. 3 years is when I actually started the Facebook support group, but I was working on myself before that, so we'll say 4 years. It's been 4 years, guys. 4 years that I've started working on myself and trying to change everything, and I'm not saying like I've not seen progress throughout these 4 years, because I have made tremendously made leaps and bounds with anxiety and self, friggin' abuse and self, hate and negative talk and all these different things, that come with friggin' all this that we all know about. I have made tremendous progress on this. And then you get to something like today. And for the third time, I'm going to have to tear this fucking thing apart and fix different shit. But it's how you learn. It's a learning lesson. It's not a mistake. But to have gotten this far, and I'm really sitting here wondering, would I have been able to have that same thought interruption? Would I have been able to interrupt that thought process like I did if for the past couple weeks I hadn't been listening to my moto videos and doing, my friggin' little routines and working on myself a little bit more than I would, maybe a month ago, because I wasn't listening to the moto videos. I wasn't putting positive things in my head constantly like I am now. I wasn't, working on myself. I thought I was good. I was working on the farm all the time and this and that. I don't know. But I know, what I do know is that all this hard work that I fucking put in, it's helping. It's working. And trust and believe, it's not been easy. It has not been easy. There's been times I've wanted to revert back to the old asshole fucking me. The times that I was, just nothing but a fucking dick towards everybody. There has been times that way. There has been times where I've wanted to give up and just say, fuck this. Why bother? The world's a shitty place. Why do I need to fucking change? Maybe the world should change. Freaking, there's been times where I've even, even here recently, there's been a few instances where I've had suicidal thoughts. And, it's nothing bad. I've had them before and talked myself down, talked myself out of it. But, there's been a few instances, here lately. But I know from the progress that I've made that if it would have been 4 years ago, a lot of this, talking myself out of things and all this work I've done, it would have been worse. I would have spiraled. I'd have put myself in a depression. I'd have been pissed off. I'd have been, I'd have ruined my whole fucking day. I'd have probably took it out on the kids. I'd have took my bad mood out on fucking, my girlfriend and snapped at her and snapped at the kids, fucking all that different stuff. All that different stuff I would have done. And right now I'm like, almost like, I feel like a hippie, just whatever, man. Going with the flow, bro. Like, whatever. I'm just like, alright, fine. I made the fucking mistake. I should have listened a little bit better. I should have wrote shit the fuck down that my dad had told me to do is what the fuck I should have done, or put it on my phone. And, nothing I can do but go back and fix the fucking mistake and move on. And hopefully, I'll be done with this damn thing here soon. Hopefully, by this weekend, I'll be fucking done with it. And I'll be able to do lives and shit on the back deck, not just the back porch. So, it works, guys. All these little tips and all these little things and all these, all this shit I talk about and all this information I give you and all this stuff, it works. I'm a walking fucking billboard advertisement that this shit works. But you got to be consistent with it. You got to be willing to put in the work for it. You got to be willing to give it time. It's not going. You're not going to change overnight because you didn't become the way you are right now overnight. It's going to take years, and I know that I have years to go. Still, I heard the other day, one of the moto speakers that I was listening to. I can't remember which one because I've been listening to a lot of them here nowadays. But they said, when you get to a point where you stop learning, then basically you're dead. That's it. He's like, if you're not constantly learning and constantly growing and constantly working on yourself, and you get to a point to where you think you know it all, and you don't need to learn nothing new, you're basically dead. You're gonna walk around like a zombie and be fucking arrogant. Because you should learn stuff about yourself all the damn time. And we all make mistakes, and we all need to learn from those lessons learned. I need to switch that. I'm trying to switch mistakes to lessons learned. And instead of looking at the mistake or the situation I'm in, what is this trying to teach me? What am I learning from this? So it's trial and error, you guys. Find something that works for you. What works for me may not work for you guys. What works for you may not work for me. But it's all trial and error. Trial and error, not trial and area. So all I can say is you've got to put in the work. You've got to put in the work. You've got to do it constantly and consistency. It almost needs to become like a drug, like an addiction. Constantly trying to work on these mental illnesses. And you can't tell me it can't be done. Because I remember this was 2016. I remember putting a friggin' gun to my head and pulling the trigger. And thank God I didn't have one in the fucking chamber. For some reason, I still to this day don't know why there wasn't one in the fucking chamber when I leave all my guns fucking loaded and ready to go and one in the chamber and put up. But still to this day, I don't know why. I remember that. If you're new and you're just turning in and you're listening, yes, I've tried to commit suicide a couple times. When that didn't work, when the gun thing, and I felt like I fucked up, then you can't even do this fucking right. A couple days later, I took a handful of pills. A couple of days later, I tried to friggin' take a handful full of my pain pills and tried to overdose, and that didn't even fucking work. Thank God none of it fucking did. I tried to come up with a plan to wreck my motorcycle. To make everybody think that I was doing okay after that, because I went into the mental institution and everything. And after that, I may come up with a plan. I was going to act like I was okay. I was going to friggin', act like, that I was doing fine, that I was happy and this and that. And I was going to give my kids and my family and my friends one good last summer with me. And then at the end of the summer, I was going to friggin' wreck my motorcycle and make it look like an accident so nobody thought I tried to commit suicide. I had plans. Thank God that last plan backfired. Thank God that one backfired on me. Because the more I started, being involved with my kids and my friends and my family, and the more I started, where they say, faking it until you make it, well, that backfired because then it started giving me reasons to why I should live. And it started making me happier and learning things about the kids and spending time with the family and the friends and just having good times. It reminded me and gave me reasons to why I should live. So I remember all that. Don't think that I'm Mr. Moto and I've never been through anything and that I've never friggin', tried to do it and didn't have these thoughts. You can go way back. I think the videos should still be on there. I don't know if they've deleted them or not. But, I've been doing this for almost 4 years now, doing lives on here. And if you've been around long enough, and you've been around since the beginning, I used to get on here and be like, and say, I'm gonna put out the good and the bad. I'd do it live, and then get off 5 minutes later, I'd have an anxiety attack and jump right back on. I'd jump right back on and then show everybody this is what it's like for when I have an anxiety attack. This is the thoughts that are running through my head. This is the shit that's going on right now. All this different shit. And it helped. It all helped. And I'm not telling you to get on here. I wish more people in this group would do lives. I think it does help. I think it, gives you a place to vent and to get advice from, and to show you that, you're not alone through this battle that you're going with. But there's even certain things that I'm trying to change about how I speak. Instead of saying, suffering through these mental illnesses, you're battling through these mental illnesses. You're battling with these mental illnesses, because it's a fight. It's a fight every fucking day. Even still for me, it's a fight every fucking day to choose whether I allow this to keep going on and allow these bad thoughts and this negative self-talk and the self-abuse and all this different shit, to either allow this to go on, or do I fight with it? And some days are harder than others. Some days, some days I can't fucking fight, hard enough. And some days that, it does overtake me. And then I always have that thought in the back of my head there's always tomorrow. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to fight it again, and I'm going to fight harder. I learned today. I learned through this day. And the things, and I got to see what else I got to tweak, see what else I got to work on. So it's still even a battle for me. And I always say, like, I am not 100% cured. I have still, I battle with these mental illnesses still. But I can fight them better. I've sharpened my tools. I've, gained the knowledge. I've, friggin' understood. I was like, oh, okay. This demon is back now. I fought you before now, and I learned from you. I know how to defeat you this time. When a new demon fucking pops up, like, oh, okay, you're like this other one. Maybe I can, use the same shit. Oh, well, that doesn't work. Well, let's try something else. All this different shit, you guys, that I speak of all the time, I'm telling you, it helps. It helps so much. Use it. Go out there and do your own research. Find your own things. Just put in the fucking work. And when there's days that you feel like you want to give the fuck up, and you're just like, what's the point? Why bother? Get a hold of me. Get a hold of one of the pack members. Make a post. You can make an anonymous post in the Facebook group, and the only people who will know that you posted it, and we will never tell, is the admins in here. Me and the moderators. It's the only ones that will ever know who actually posted it. And so you can get on here and you can vent and say what you want, and you're afraid if somebody's, going to judge you, which I better never catch nobody else judging anybody in this group. But, because we're all here for our own reasons. Just, freaking make an anonymous post and go from there. Let, if you don't want people to know, you know exactly who you are, there's tools out there. There's, all kinds of shit out there. All kinds of research. Google, the internet is a beautiful fucking thing. We use it for a lot of the wrong reasons nowadays. Social media. You can even have social media working for you. I just told my girlfriend just yesterday, we were having a conversation, because she noticed there's a lot of, more positive stuff coming up on her Facebook. I was like, yeah, I said, you do know, I was like, you can actually go, and I don't remember how to do it, but there's a setting that you can go through and actually pick like 20, 25 pages and groups and people, that you want to follow, or you want it in your news feed first. And I did that when I was trying to break myself from Facebook, because I was addicted to Facebook. I scrolled for fucking hours just like everybody else. I friggin' went through and found that and did that, because I think I found it on a post one time. Well, I went through and did that, and I was putting, made sure all the positive things and everything that I wanted was up front. It was positive stuff and mental awareness stuff and all this kind of different stuff to deal with, these mental illnesses. But by the time I finally would get through and start seeing, the drama and the bullshit and the memes and everything else people were posting, I'd be bored of it. Like, it'd be like 10 or 15 minutes of nothing but scrolling and being like, friggin', positive this and an inspirational quote and this and that, And then when it get about time friggin', actual real people shit was pulling up, I'd be so bored. I'd be like, okay, all right, I'm done. I don't want to be on here anymore. I'm bored now. And then I'd go off and do shit. You can make these social media apps work for you. TikTok, the same way. Instead of looking up funny shit all the fucking time, look up the positive shit. Look up the mental health shit. Freaking, there's tons of fucking, people out here doing this stuff. Please go help, or go help support them and find them. Maybe they can help you better than what I can. We'll say lesson learned today. I didn't wake up at 4:30 in this morning. I woke up at 6:30 though. I was kind of proud of myself for that, because I didn't even wake up with an alarm clock. I woke up, at 4:30. Actually my phone, something's wrong with my charging cord or something, because the alarm never went off, so it was dead or something. And I ended up, waking up at like 6:30. And my girlfriend, she let me sleep in. She knows I've been wanting to get up at 4:30 in the morning and get on a routine. But, friggin', I was so exhausted from all the work I was doing for the last couple days with this deck. She knew I was tired. She knew I was friggin' wore the fuck out. Matter of fact, yesterday, I woke up at 4:30 in the morning, did the morning motivation live, put it out there and everything like that. And then after that, I fought to stay awake, to where like my brain wasn't even functioning right. Like I couldn't even think right because I was so fucking tired. I went and I finally said, fuck it, I'm tired of fighting this. I'm going back to sleep. I got some shit done this morning, and it was like 6 o'clock. So from like 4:30 to 6 o'clock, like I was up, and I was legit trying my hardest to fight this, going back to sleep. Finally, I was like, fuck it. I went back in there, went back to sleep, and then woke up about 8 o'clock, refreshed, recharged, and was able to, go on about my day. And luckily I friggin' did, because if I would have been that fucking exhausted trying to work with that deck yesterday, I probably would have fucking been more aggravated and pissed off and probably made even more mistakes. So, shit happens for a reason, you guys. Like, shit happens for a reason. And I'm not on here just speaking this shit, and I'm not on here, just fucking, being like, oh, look at me, this and that, blah, blah, and trying to sell you fucking some snake poison and all this different stuff. Like, I'm out here trying to really help you guys. This information that we give, these memes that we post in the group, the friggin', all the, the inspirational quotes and the videos and the everything that everybody posts in these groups, just don't take them for granted. Go through them a little bit, and try some of the tips and the tricks and, all this different stuff that everybody posts in here, because it's not just me. I'm just really the one that does lives the most. But it's not just me, friggin' that post. I hardly actually post anything anymore. Like, except for the lives, I hardly post friggin' memes anymore and this and that, because I don't get on Facebook like that anymore. I'm too busy doing other shit. I'm not going to just mindlessly scroll and waste my fucking life away doing that when there's other shit I could be doing that's way better for me. But my moderators, they keep an eye on the group, and if something's like needs to be brought to my attention right now, one of them will message and be like, hey, this is what's going on, you need to check this out. And then I'll jump on, and then, I'll see what we can do about the situation. But I'm choosing to stay off of social media and not let that ruin and affect my life so much to where I become addicted, because I've done it before. I used to sit down and scroll for 3 or 4 hours straight and not even realize that much time has passed by, when there was important things I needed to get friggin' done around the farm, or friggin' doing other things just in life in general. I could have read a book in that friggin' 4 hours. I could have fucking, done research in that 4 hours. I could have went and exercised in that 4 hours. I could have went and spent time with the kids or family or whatever in 4 fucking hours, but all I did was mindlessly scroll. And I can't even tell you what the fuck for those 4 hours of anything important that I seen. Or even the funny shit. The memes. And don't get wrong, like, I get on here every once in a while, especially like when I'm laying down at night, or, I'm sitting here taking a break from working fucking, on the farm or doing something else, and I'll scroll for maybe 10 or 15 minutes and post some funny memes and, some shit, but I don't do that as often as I used to. Nowhere near as often. So, with that, I went a little bit longer than I thought I was going to. I got shit to do today. I'm gonna fucking tackle this damn demon deck. Demon dick. Not dick. Not dick, you fucking perverts. I said demon deck. Deck. D-E-C-K. Deck. I know what it sounded like, though. I'm gonna tackle this demon deck and fucking hopefully freaking get this shit fixed and get it done. Just remember, you guys, it's lessons learned. It's not just mistakes. It's not fuck-ups. You're not worthless. You're not fucking, you can do things right. I bet you get on, you can put your shoes on right every day. You fucking do that. I know, there's something right. There's always a positive and a negative. You can always turn those, I say that all the time. Turn those negatives into positives. Find the positive. Yes, dealing with this deck, I found a lot of negatives, but I've turned them into positives. I just keep telling myself, I'm learning. I even had to tell my dad that this morning. Freaking, he kind of got on my ass a little bit, and I was like, look, I ain't never built a deck before. You have. That's why I called you. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm learning. And he was like, yeah, you're right. He was just aggravated. He knew, like I know how my dad is. I'm the same damn way. Where the fuck do you think I get my shit from? I know how to take him. And I still love the man. So, it's one of those things. But just put in the work. Put in the work because you start seeing results, even if it takes 2, 3, 4 years, and I guarantee you it's not going to take that long for you to start seeing little changes about yourself. You're eventually going to start there's things about me now, just like what I just said in the beginning about my thought process and me interrupting and arguing with my own self, telling myself, don't you dare fucking finish that sentence. Like, that's exactly what I said. When I went to say, I am worthless and I can't do nothing right, my brain fucking kicked in and said, don't you dare finish that fucking sentence. Don't you dare. And I was like, what the fuck? It can happen. And I'm sitting here saying 4 or 5 years later after I started fucking working on myself, my brain is doing it. Now, I'm not saying it had done it before, but I don't know if I've ever had my brain, I've actually, because there's been a few, like, suicidal thoughts where, like, I'm sweeping the kitchen all of a sudden and a thought pops in my head, you should blow your brains out. And I'm like, where in the fuck did that come from? Like I'm good, I'm happy. Why is my brain thinking like that? Because my brain has always thought like that. Because my brain is so used to that, and it wants to go back to that, because that's what we were known. That's where we were comfortable. But no, you got to rewire your brain. You got to reteach your brain like that. That shit ain't right. So now, instead, when I have a suicidal thought, I try to bring up reasons why I shouldn't do it. When I want to get pissed off and aggravated or call myself fucking worthless and I'm no fucking good at anything and this and that, I brought up fucking reasons of why. Try that. Try that. I need to make this one a short one, but try a little tip of the day. Friggin', when you tell yourself a lie, and you know it's a lie, write it down on a piece of paper. And I heard somebody say this one time, and I did it for a while, but I can't remember who said it to do it, but write that lie down on the left side of the paper, and on the right side, write down 5 reasons why that is a lie, and you know that that's a lie. 5 reasons, good reasons why you know that is a fucking lie, and then repeat those 5 reasons to yourself like 5, 10 fucking times a piece. Just go through the list. Keep telling yourself these things and reading it. And it helps. I did it. It's one of those tips that I know that I just completely have forgotten. So, alright, now I am going to get off here. I'm going to eat my sandwich. A sandwich that my good, beautiful, loving woman made me. She wants to make sure I'm taken care of. She knows I'm busting my ass on this freaking deck. So, I'm going to eat my sandwich. I hope you all have a great and amazing day. I wanted to make sure I sat down and done the live today like I was supposed to. And I didn't, because I knew once I got started on this fully, because I had to go get some other things for this freaking deck. But once I start doing this deck fully, I'd be fucking too exhausted to sit down at the end of the night and do it. So, I wanted to get this out of the way. I hope you all have a fantastic fucking day. Keep fighting, keep battling, and remember, you're a fucking warrior. You're a warrior because you fight every day and you get up every day to fight those same fucking battles. It can get easier. Just do the work. Always remember two things, you guys. You're stronger than what you think, and you're not alone. Peace.
When I was just a young buck, mama always told me, son, keep your head up. I started hustling in the street cause I was fed up. At the age of 13, just trying to get my bread up. Didn't know my father, he was murdered in cold blood. That's why I have no remorse and never show no love. Hoping I piss you off, I really give two fucks. Burning my old bridges, trying to find me a new plug. And knowing that I needed to change, always taking from people who probably needed the same. But I was deep in the game and running deep with my gang. And if our pockets was low, then we was peeping your chain. Boy, gotta come up somehow. Instead of running these streets from sun up to sundown, I gotta change my mindset. It ain't no wondering why now that it wasn't my time yet. And why we gotta learn the hard way, doing things that we know we ain't supposed to. And I'm gonna do whatever it takes to keep the devil on my back to get to where I'm going to. I can never get enough of that tough love. When push comes to shove, you can kick me while I'm down, but I'm gonna get back up. Never get enough of that tough love. When push comes to shove, you can kick me while I'm down, but I'm gonna get back up. Ha! What did you do? What did you do? This is what I did. This is what I did. Yeah, I followed through with the plans. Washing my hands, I'm through with chasing these bands. Found hope, put down dope, becoming a man. Picking up the number 2 and letting go of the grams. I never thought that I could make it this far, to eating caviar from stealing stereos from your car. You'd be a fool not to change and try and better yourself. Better quit while you ahead, don't get ahead of yourself. And in truth, you'll find peace and find me blowing on pine trees, trying to fill up a dime piece. No more popping my 9-piece or stopping the grind streets. Don't take life for granted, cause boy, you know your time's least. And life is what you make it. Better take the music that you dance to and face it. So next time a hater says you can't make it, let that be your motivation to show them that you was destined for greatness. And why we gotta learn the hard way, doing things that we know we ain't supposed to. And I'm gonna do whatever it takes to keep the devil on my back to get to where I'm going to. I can never get enough of that tough love. When push comes to shove, you can kick me while I'm down, but I'm gonna get back up. Never get enough of that tough love. When push comes to shove, you can kick me while I'm down, but I'm gonna get back up. You see, change is inevitable, so it's never too late to make a difference as an individual. Cause we gotta do that to become better as a whole. All for one, and one for all. And why we gotta learn the hard way, doing things that we know we ain't supposed to. And I'm gonna do whatever it takes to keep the devil on my back to get to where I'm going to. I can never get enough of that tough love. When push comes to shove, you can kick me while I'm down, but I'm gonna get back up. Never get enough of that tough love. When push comes to shove, you can kick me while I'm down, but